Have you ever struggled to express love and appreciation in Arabic? In today's video, you will learn how to have a heartfelt conversation about honoring parents, no matter your level. Welcome to a new video in which we focus on speaking skills. The main topic of this video is honoring parents, birrul walidain, and it is divided into three main sections: conversation for beginners, conversation for intermediate levels, conversation for the advanced levels. Each main section is divided into three subsections: vocabulary, grammar rules, and the conversation or the text. I'm Ahmed Ibrahim, an Arabic, Egyptian dialect, and Islamic studies teacher for more than 5 years. If you're new to this channel, make sure you have subscribed, and don't forget to check out the website if you want to book a course with me. Now, let's jump to the first section. Section 1. Conversation for beginners. Chapter 1. Vocabulary. Here are the key words you will need to understand this dialogue. Father, ab, ab. My father, abi, abi. Mother, My mother, ummi, ummi. My dear son, which is a term for or of endearment, you say bunay, bunay. Father, it has another meaning, which is walid, walid. And mother also, it has another meaning, which is walidah, walidah. Parents, you say walidan, walidan. I love, uhibbu, uhibbu. I love you, and you're addressing a man, a male, you say uhibbuka, uhibbuka. I love you, and if you're addressing a female, you say uhibbuki, uhibbuki. Very much or a lot, you say kathiran, kathiran. Also, you say aydan, aydan. As well, كذلك, كذلك. Satisfied or pleased, you say راضٍ, راضٍ. Satisfied for dual, you say راضيان, راضيان. And sometimes you say راضيين, راضيين. Righteous, you say صالح, صالح. Chapter 2. The grammar rules. First, let's check how to express you in Arabic. So, in order to say you add either ka or ki at the end of the noun or at the end of the verb. For example, if I have a verb like uhibbu, 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 that means I love, I love. Now, how could you say I love you for a male if you're addressing a male? You're going to add ka, because ka, this is how we express, or this is how we addressing a male, and ki if you're addressing a woman, a female. So you say uhibbuka, uhibbuka. That means I love you. And that's if you're talking to a masculine, a male. And you say أحبك with kasra if you are addressing a woman. So you say, I love you, and you are addressing a female. Now, let's have another example. If you want to say your book, book in Arabic means kitab. Kitab. So, how could you say your book for a male? Your book for a male, you need to add kaf with fatha. And your book for a female, you need to add kaf with kasra. So, in order to say your book for a male, you say kitabuka. Kitabuka. Your book. And that's for a male. However, for a girl, you say kitabuki. Kitabuki. Your book for a female. This is for the first rule. Now let's jump to the dual form. You need to know that Arabic has singular, dual, and plural forms. The dual form is used for two people or objects. For example, the word radiyan. If I have a word, first is the singular. If I have a singular word which is radin, radin, radin. Radin means pleased or satisfied. Satisfied. Okay. Now, this is for singular. How could you say like two people are satisfied? You say radiyan. Radiyan, it means satisfied, but not for a singular, but for dual. And so what is the rule here? The rule is if you have kalima, a word, you just add to this word alif and noon, and that gives you dual form. So if you have a word kitab, you say kitaban, qalam, qalaman, and so on. Sometimes you add, instead of alif and noon, you add ya and noon. Okay? But the last word, the last letter here, the last letter of the first will be with fatha. How's that? For example, the word kitab. Kitab. So in order to say two books, you have either kitaban or we're going to add ya and noon as we mentioned before. Here, this is ya and noon. But there is something we also said. We said that this ba need to be with fatha in order to make it dual. You say kitabain, kitaba, kitabain. You don't say kitabin. No, it's not kitabin, it's kitabain. And this form is used when the word is marfu' in the nominative case. However, this ya and noon used when the word in accusative or in a genitive case. This is for chapter 2. Chapter 3, the conversation. This conversation is between a son, his name is Umar, and the parents, the father and mother. So, Umar, Abi, أنا أحبك كثيرا. أبي أنا أحبك كثيرا. الأب وأنا أحبك أيضا يا عمر. وأنا أحبك أيضا يا عمر. عمر أمي أنا أحبك كثيرا. أمي أنا أحبك كثيرا. الأم وأنا كذلك أحبك كثيرا يا عمر. وأنا كذلك أحبك كثيرا يا عمر. عمر يا أبي يا أمي هل أنتما راضيان عني؟ يا أبي يا أمي هل أنتما راضيان عني؟ The father and mother. الأب والأم. نعم يا بني نحن راضيان عنك. أنت ابن صالح. نعم يا بني نحن راضيان عنك. أنت ابن صالح. عمر بارك الله فيكما يا والداي. بارك الله فيكما يا والداي. Section 2. Conversation for Intermediate. Chapter 1. Vocabulary. The relationship between العلاقة بين. العلاقة بين. In every country of the world. في كل بلاد العالم. في كل بلاد العالم. Based on قائمة على. قائمة على. Thing شيء. شيء. Two things شيئين. شيئين. Essential أساسي. أساسي. Two essentials أساسيين. أساسيين. Obedience طاعة. طاعة. Respect احترام. احترام. Harsh قاسية. قاسية. They endure يتحملوا. يتحملوا. Hardships of life ملمات الحياة. ملمات الحياة. Slogans شعارات. شعارات. Freedom الحرية. الحرية. Getting rid of التخلص. التخلص. Parental authority السلطة الأبوية. السلطة الأبوية. Established أنشأ. أنشأ. A generation جيلا. جيلا. Islam called for honoring parents. دعا الإسلام إلى بر الوالدين. دعا الإسلام إلى بر الوالدين. And we have enjoined upon man to treat his parents with excellence. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا. And that's a Quranic verse. Gate or portal, you say بوابة. بوابة. Chapter 2, the grammar rules. In this chapter, we're going to talk about two rules. First is كان and its sisters, كان وأخواتها. And then we're going to talk about a quick tip of the dual in the genitive case, the dual nouns in the genitive case. Let's start with كان and its sisters. We need to answer three questions here. What they are and what do they mean? And then we need to know what their role in a sentence. And then we're going to have some examples. Let's jump to the first question. What they are and what do they mean? We have a lot of kana and its sisters. So kana, it means was. أصبح means became in the morning. And we know that we as Arabs, we consider two mornings. The morning is early and the morning is late morning. So the early morning is أصبح. So when you say أصبح محمد جميلا, that means Muhammad became beautiful or nice in the early morning. When you say أضحى محمد حزينا, that means Muhammad became sad in the late morning. Because أصبح and أضحى, both of them means morning, but one is early morning and one is late morning. And then we have أمسى. أمسى means became, but in the مساء, in the evening. And then we have صار, it means turned into. ظل, remained. And ليس. This is the first thing we need to know. Now, do we have another sisters? Yes, we do. But in this level, we're not going to talk about them now. We're going to talk about them later, inshallah. Now, we need to know two things now. The first thing is what kind of word they are. Because we know that the word in Arabic, it's either ism or fi'l or harf. Noun, verb, or a particle. In which category does this fit? Do they fit here? Okay. So they fit in the category of fi'l. So they are verbs, أفعال. And you know that we have three types of fi'l. We have fi'l ماضي, past, and we have fi'l مضارع, present, and we have fi'l أمر, imperative. Now, you need to know that all of them can come in these three categories, ماضي and مضارع and أمر, except for one, which is ليس. This is فعل جامد. It doesn't have the ability to change from past to present to imperative. So for example, the verb كان. كان, this is past. The present is يكون. يكون. and the imperative is kun. Kun. Like be. Kana means was. Yakunu is like is going to be or is being. And kun, that's imperative. Be. Like kun ذا خلق. Be nice in attitude. So this is the first thing we need to know. The second thing we need to know that these verbs, you can conjugate them like any other verbs. For example, kana, it means he was. Now, what about she was? كانت. And we were كنا. They were كانوا. They were for girls, you say كنا. 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 And also in all of them, like أصبح, أصبحت, أصبحنا, أصبحوا, أصبحنا. أضحى, أضحت, أضحينا, أضحوا, أمسى, أمست, صار, صارت, ظل, ظلت. But this one, we said before that it doesn't fit into the 3 types of verbs, so it doesn't fit also in. You can conjugate it because, yeah, you can say ليس, ليست, لسنا, ليسوا, and then لسنا. So yeah, you can conjugate all of them, even ليس. However, ليس, you can't bring the 3 types of verbs. ماضي, مضارع, أمر. This is the first question. What do they mean and what they are? Now let's move to the question number 2. What's the rule in the sentence? You need to know that كان وأخواتها, كان and its sisters, it enters to the nominal sentence. الجملة الاسمية. And the nominal sentence consists of 2 main components. المبتدأ and الخبر. The subject and the predicate. So what's the characteristics of المبتدأ? المبتدأ, you have to know that it's a noun. Any sentence starts with a noun, we consider it as nominal sentence. جملة اسمية. So it's a noun. And then it's in a nominative case. في حالة الرفع مرفوع. Okay? And the third thing is مبتدأ. You call it مبتدأ because you start with it. And الخبر means the final statement. Yes, we have a lot of meaning in خبر, about خبر, but in this term, in this terminology, we mean خبر means the final statement that gives you the complete meaning of the sentence. So خبر is also noun and it's also in the nominative case. It's also مرفوع. Now, you said that كان وأخواتها enter to the nominal sentence. They make some changes. What are the changes they do? They change one thing in the مبتدأ. They change its name. It's not anymore مبتدأ. It will be still a noun, by the way, still a noun. Noun in Arabic means ism. So it's ism, okay? Now, the second thing, it will not change anything other than the name. So it's still be مرفوع. So when you used to say مبتدأ مرفوع, you will say اسم because it's اسم. اسم, and then you say اسم كان because it's still a noun. It's not the thing that you started with because you started with كان. And then اسم كان مرفوع. Now, what about the خبر? Now the khabar, yes, it's still the final statement. It's still khabar. It's still predicate. But it's not the predicate of mubtada. It's not khabar al-mubtada. It's khabar kana. Khabar kana. So the first thing that it changed is we say khabar kana. And the second thing is from marfu' it will be mansoob in the accusative case. So let's have another diagram. If I have mubtada here and khabar here, before kana we have mubtada and we have khabar. This mubtada is called mubtada and then it's marfu', and this khabar is called khabar and it's marfu' also. Now when you say kana, this mubtada changed from being mubtada to ism kana. When you make i'rab, you say ism kana. And this khabar changed from khabar, it will be khabar kana. And it's no longer marfu', it will be mansoob. This is pretty much what we're going to find in kana and its sisters. Now that we've answered the first two questions, now let's have some examples. If I have a sentence, it's called المدرسة مغلقة. المدرسة مغلقة. So this is mubtada and it's in a nominative case. It's marfu' and the symbol of رفع is الضمة. مرفوع بالضمة. And مغلقة is خبر مرفوع بالضمة. Now I want to say the school was closed. المدرسة مغلقة. The school is closed. I want to say the school was closed. You add at the beginning كانت. Why didn't I say كان? Because المدرسة we consider it as a feminine word. Okay, so we conjugate it with كانت, تاء التأنيث, the femininity تاء. So do we say كانت المدرسة مغلقة? No. We say كانت المدرسة, not مغلقة, we say مغلقة. So we change this from tun to tan. And this المدرسة, it's not مبتدأ anymore. It's not مبتدأ because it's not the thing that you started with. It was مبتدأ because you بدأت بها, because you started with it. But now, since you started with kana, it's not مبتدأ. It's اسم. We call it اسم كانت. اسم كانت. And it's still مرفوع? Yes. It is still مرفوع. بالضمة? Yes. بالضمة. اسم كانت مرفوع بالضمة. And then خبر مغلقة. خبر, it's not خبر only, it's خبر كانت. And it's not مرفوع. It's منصوب. And it's not منصوب بالضمة, it's منصوب بالفتحة. Now, let's have another example. In the conversation we're going to see, you will see this sentence. كانت العلاقة بين الآباء والأبناء قائمة على, and so on. So here we have كانت, that's فعل ماضي ناقص ناسخ. And then العلاقة. So do we say كانت العلاقة or كانت العلاقة? It's كانت العلاقة because it's مرفوع بالضمة. اسم كانت. كانت العلاقة بين الآباء والأبناء. That's not, it's not the خبر yet. So the خبر is قائمة. The relationship between the father and sons was based on قائمة. Before كانت, it was قائمة. But after كانت, you say قائمة. So this is اسم كانت مرفوع بالضمة. And this is خبر كانت منصوب بالفتحة. That's pretty much we need to know about كان and its sisters. Now let's talk about the dual nouns in genitive case. You need to know that if I have a preposition في or إلى or على, and after this preposition we have a word, it's always in a genitive case. Genitive means مجرور. And we used to say في المدرسة. We used to put كسرة because كسرة is one of the symbols that fits مجرور, that's used when the word is in a genitive case. في حالة الجر في المدرسة. But this is only was the used for the word that are singular. What about the dual words? The dual words, for example, if I have kitab, the dual of this, it can be kitaban or kitabain. Now, kitaban is always used in a nominative case, في حالة الرفع. Now, what about kitabain? Kitabain used in two cases, in the accusative and in genitive. في حالة النصب and في حالة الجر. That gives us a brief about this example. If I'm going to say سلمت على الطالب, so we have here a preposition. So the word after it, which is الطالب, should be in a genitive case. So I'm going to say سلمت على الطالب, which means I greeted the student. I can say سلمت على الطالبين. So we have here the preposition على, and then we have الطالبين. It's in a genitive case. And the symbol for dual is not كسرة الطالبين. No, it's the ياء النون. So we change الطالبان from being طالبان to being طالبين. That's pretty much for chapter 2. Chapter 3. The text. العلاقة بين الآباء والأبناء. كانت العلاقة بين الآباء والأبناء قديما في كل بلاد العالم قائمة على شيئين أساسيين. أولاً طاعة الابن والبنت لأبيها وأمها واحترامهما. ثانياً تربية الأبناء تربية قاسية بعض الشيء حتى يتحملوا ملمات الحياة المستقبلية. لكن الآن تغير الوضع، وصار الأبناء لا يحترمون الآباء ويرددون شعارات الحرية والتخلص من السلطة الأبوية، وهذا أنشأ لنا جيلا لا يعرف قدر الوالدين. دعا الإسلام إلى بر الوالدين، فقال الله تعالى في كتابه العزيز. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا. سورة الأحقاف الآية 15. لذلك يجب علينا أن نبر والدينا ونحسن إليهما، فهما بوابتنا إلى الجنة. Section 3. Conversation for Advanced. Chapter 1. Vocabulary. A painful scene. منظر مؤلم. منظر مؤلم. One of the most painful scenes. أكثر المناظر إيلاما. أكثر المناظر إيلاما. The giant medicine bag. كيس الدواء العملاق. كيس الدواء العملاق. Sets a schedule. يضع جدولا. يضع جدولا. Is the medicine taken before or after lunch? الدواء يؤخذ قبل أم بعد الغداء؟ الدواء يؤخذ قبل أم بعد الغداء. And much of what he used to crave is now forbidden. والممنوع فيه الكثير مما كان يشتهيه. والممنوع فيه الكثير مما كان يشتهيه. والممنوع فيه الكثير مما كان يشتهيه. Intermittent groans. تأوهات متقطعة. تأوهات متقطعة. He tries to get up. يحاول أن ينهض. يحاول أن ينهض. He no longer pays attention to it. لم يعد يعيرها اهتماما. لم يعد يعيرها اهتماما. He watches his grandson. يراقب حفيده. يراقب حفيده. Most likely. على الأرجح. على الأرجح. To realize after much effort. لتدرك بعد عناء. لتدرك بعد عناء. It doesn't stop aging. لا يمنع الشيخوخة. لا يمنع الشيخوخة. The faint smile. البسمة الباهتة. البسمة الباهتة. The trembling, sighing voice. الصوت المتهدج المتنهد. الصوت المتهدج المتنهد. The gaze is exhausted. النظرات منهكة. النظرات منهكة. Your mother couldn't thread the needle. عجزت أمك عن تلقيم الإبرة. عجزت أمك عن تلقيم الإبرة. Why do I see a soul fading? ما لي أرى روحا تبهت. ما لي أرى روحا تبهت. A voice fading. صوتا يخفت. Pains growing in the chest. آلاما في الصدر تنبت. آلاما في الصدر تنبت. The terrifying truth. الحقيقة المفزعة. الحقيقة المفزعة. The tears you will shed. الدمع الذي ستسكبه. الدمع الذي ستسكبه. You took your allowance from her. أخذت منها مصروفك. أخذت منها مصروفك. A psychological crisis. أزمة نفسية. أزمة نفسية. The wisdom of the perceptive who pretends not to notice. خبرة الفطن المتغافل. خبرة الفطن المتغافل. You wipe away your tears. تكفكف دمعك. تكفكف دمعك. Chapter 3. The grammar rules. In this chapter, we're going to explain al-hal. And we're going to know what does it mean al-hal, or what is al-hal in Arabic. Al-hal is an adverbial phrase or a word. And this adverbial phrase or word describes the condition of the state of al-fa'il, the subject, or al-maf'ul, the object. And this description is not permanent. It's temporary. Other than the adjectives, an-na'at. An-na'at or as-sifa, which is the adjective in Arabic, describe the fa'il or maf'ul or the word, describe it permanently. However, al-hal describe the condition or the state during the action, not in general, not absolute. So let's have an example. Here, دخل المعلم الصف مبتسما. دخل المعلم الصف مبتسما. And the translation of this is, the teacher entered the classroom smiling. مبتسما. Now, مبتسما, smiling, tells us the teacher's state when he entered the classroom. And it shows how he looked and how he felt during this action. But it's not permanent, as we said. It's temporary. The description of the teacher smiling is only at the or during the action, during ad-dukhul, during entering. And you need to know that al-hal is in accusative case. Al-hal is always mansoob. So what is the symbol of mansoob? We have many symbols. One of them is fatha if the word we consider it as singular, mufrad. But now let's have an example for plural hal. وصل الأصدقاء مسرورين. وصل الأصدقاء مسرورين. The translation of this sentence is, the friends arrived happy. Now, مسرورين, which is happy, tells us the friend's state and condition during their wusul, during their arriving. So it's about their emotional state at that moment, only at the moment of al-wusul, arriving. However, it's not permanent, it's temporary. And as we said, it's mansub. This is the hal, this is al-hal, and this hal is mansub. Now, what is the symbol of nasb? It's not fatha, it's ya. Ya, we say masrurin, not masrurun, masrurin, because the mark or the symbol of nasb of the jam' mudhakkar salim, the sound plural masculine, is ya. So you have to know some key characteristics of al-hal. First is always mansub. Al-hal is always mansub. And if it was singular, you say, you make nasb with fatha, like the word masruran. And if it was ya, if it was muthanna, dual, or jam' mudhakkar salim, you use ya, like masrurin, masrurin. This is the first key characteristic. The second is it's indefinite, nakira. We don't say دخل المعلم الصف المبتسم. No, we don't say al. It's nakira, مبتسما. وصل الأصدقاء مسرورين. And then the last key characteristic is it explains the state or the condition of either object or the subject, or both of them, al-fa'il أو al-maf'ul, or al-fa'il wal-maf'ul together during the action. It's not permanent, it's temporary. The last thing we need to know is the types of al-hal. We have three types of al-hal. We have al-fa'il, al-hal that describes the subject, al-hal that describes al-fa'il. And we have the hal that describes al-maf'ul, the object, and we have the hal that describes both al-fa'il and al-maf'ul. Let's look to the first example, the hal that describes al-fa'il. When I say جاء زيد حزينا, جاء is فعل. Where's the fa'il? زيد. زيد is fa'il. Now, what is حزينا? حزينا is حال, حال that describes زيد. زيد came sad. So حزينا describes the subject, al-fa'il, زيد, during the action of al-maji', during the action of coming. This is the first type. The second type, that the hal that describes al-maf'ul, the object. So in the Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا. So it means, O Prophet, we have sent you as witness, a bearer of good news, and warner. يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا. So the word shahidan here, it means witness, and it describes the state of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the messaging, like the sending. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him. So because we know here, so arsalnaka, this one, let's describe it. Let's fix it. أرسلنا and then ka. So أرسل is فعل, and na, this is ضمير, which is فاعل, and then ka, it's مفعول. Now, the word شاهدا, witness, it describes what? Is it describing al-fa'il, the one who sent al-Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or it describes the state of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The answer is shahidan, it describes the al-Rasul. This kaf is ضمير returning and indicating the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So shahidan is, which means witness, it describes the state of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the object here, al-maf'ul bihi, during his mission, during the mission of tabligh. This is the second type. The third type is the hal that describes both al-fa'il wal-maf'ul, the subject and the object. I can say صافح اللاعب منافسه متحابين. Now, صافح, it's فعل, like shook his hand. Who's the doer? Who's the فاعل, the subject? اللاعب. اللاعب is فاعل. And who's the object? المفعول به منافسه. Now, the condition and a state, which is al-hal, this is hal. Now, صافح اللاعب منافسه متحابين, it means the player shook hands with his competitor, both being friendly. So, متحابين, is it describing the condition of the doer while he shook the hand of his competitor, or describing the condition and a state of the competitor while he being shook the hand? The answer is both. This hal describes both al-la'ib and munafisahu during the action of shaking hands, al-musafaha. That's pretty much we need to know in chapter 3. Chapter 3, the text. منظر مؤلم، أليس كذلك؟ بل من أكثر المناظر إيلاما حين ترى أحد أبويك يبحث في كيس الدواء العملاق الخاص به ويضع جدولا ليتذكر عما إذا كان ذلك الدواء يؤخذ قبل أم بعد الغداء. الغداء المخصوص طبعا، والممنوع فيه الكثير مما كان يشتهيه. حين تستمع إلى تأوهات متقطعة في كل مرة يحاول أن ينهض فيها من على سريره في الصباح، تأوهات اعتادت عليها أذنك فلم تعد تعيرها اهتماما حيث يوجد الكثير منها. حين ترى نظرته التي تحمل الكثير وهو يراقب حفيده يلعب سعيدا بما يستقبله من الحياة الطويلة أمامه، بينما يفكر هو وتفكر أنت أنه على الأرجح لم يبق له من العمر الكثير. حين تحاول جاهدا تعليمه تقنية هاتفك الجديد لتدرك بعد عناء أن الذكاء لا يمنع الشيخوخة، وأنك تواجه الآن نفس عنائه معك في 5 سنينك الأولى. حين ترى هذه الجلسة الثابتة، تلك البسمة الباهتة، ذلك الوجه العزيز المتجعد، والصوت المتهدج المتنهد، النظرات منهكة ولم تعد مفرحة، والمشية بطيئة متعبة، القلب يكبر ويتسع، وبياضه إلى شعره ارتفع. تتساءل في عجب: هل حقا لم يستطع أبوك أن يفتح تلك العلبة؟ أم حقا عجزت أمك عن تلقيم الإبرة؟ ما لي أرى روحا تبهت وصوتا يخفت وآلاما في الصدر تنبت. تكبر قليلا قليلا، ثم سرعان ما تدرك أنهما يكبران معك، وترى تلك الحقيقة المفزعة أمام عينيك، أنك قد تفقدهما قريبا. تحاول أن تتخيل كيف سيكون حالك حين تدخل البيت بعد أن يكون خاليا، أو كم هو مقدار الدمع الذي ستسكبه حين ترى مكانه المفضل على الأريكة، الكوب الذي كان يشرب فيه الشاي، الهاتف العتيق الذي كان يتصل بك منه، فرشاة الشعر العزيزة، المصحف الكبير، حقيبة اليد التي لطالما أخذت منها مصروفك، والحذاء الذي حفظت صوت خطواته وهو يمر بجوار غرفتك. تتساءل عن كنه ذلك المخلوق الذي يستطيع حل محلهما. لما كنت تحاول أن تكذب على أحدهما فيبتسم في خبرة الفطن المتغافل الذي نزلت دموعه من الفرح يوم نجاحك في تلك السنة العسيرة، وتجمدت نظرته في قلق عندما دخلت المستشفى لأول مرة في حياتك، الذي لما حكيت له عن أكبر أزمة نفسية مرت بك احتضنك في حنان، عالما أنك مجرد مراهق، والذي لم ينم في أول رحلة مدرسية خرجت فيها منتظرا في شرفته. تكفكف دمعك حينها وتغلق نور الصالة، لأن أمك كانت حريصة على إغلاقه ليلا دائما، ثم تغلق باب الشقة خارجا، عالما أنه قد صار أحزن مكان على وجه الأرض، وأنه لم يعد بيتك. برهما قبل أن تندم.